Hey folks, welcome to tonight's stream, and we are doing something a little bit different tonight, as just something a bit different really. And this is having a look at one of the games that I put on hold to work on Groenland. Okay, and this was kind of my pet dream project. So it's called Fabrica Espace, and it is a kind of hybrid between Factorio, Satisfactory, Surviving Mars. Okay, so here we have the menu. Oh, yeah, new game. Okay. Okay, that. So who's in the chat tonight? And what would you guys like to see? As I said, this is Fabrica Espace, and I'll show you how far I got with this. We might do a little bit of work on it, I don't know. We shall see. And we'll just have a little look. I need a little palette cleanser from Groenland for a day. Okay, we worked on it half a day yesterday, half a day today, and I couldn't really think of anything to work on tonight off the top of my head, so I thought, well, we'll do something a bit completely different. And apparently we've crashed. Okay. Well, that puts a bit of a... Don't know if this is doing shaders or something. Maybe. Yeah, it is. It's doing a shadery thing. So we'll let it do its thing for a minute, and I'll chat with you guys. So who's all in there? Who's all here tonight? Any of the regulars in, or are you new here? Is there anything you want to see? Is there anything that you want to see in Unreal Engine that I could show you guys? Right, this is just going to be horribly slow to start with. Until it gets these shaders done. I loaded up early thinking it would do all the shaders, but unfortunately I didn't start a level, so we're going to have to wait on it just loading these up. Well, at least we can see something now. Right, so you can imagine this is kind of like Factorio or Satisfactory, okay? There's minerals in the ground that you have to mine. Right? Now, these are some basic I was just testing some AI on these to get them running in a group. Right, so you'll have seen earlier that they actually ran in a group. Although having said that, it was compiling a million shaders. So yeah. So we're not going to get very far until these shaders are done. So I'm just going to do the widget reflector so that you guys can see this better while we're waiting on this thing firing up. Right. But I'll tell you what we'll do. What we'll do is we'll take you through some of the HUD here. So you've got a hotbar, which is completely configurable, right? And there's lots of buttons you can hit, which I can't remember what they are. Don't know what this normal is. Okay. We have a drone station here, and these drones are basically the things that of how we research stuff. Sorry, how we find out what minerals are the correct minerals. Okay. So, if we want to do that, we can by clicking on our probe and selecting a square. Right, and if these shaders don't stop it too much, we should see drones flying over here. Here they come. It's all rather slow. Then we shall start scanning. Okay. And then we can see what this is, copper ore 200. You can see copper ore, copper ore. Okay. We really should have done these shaders first. Right, but I'll tell you what we'll do. Right, we'll stop that for now. Right, that's probably going to continue. But what I'll show you guys is the main menu. Right, because it can carry on with shaders, and we'll have a look at the menu, right? So in the menu, we've got all the stuff that we wanted. We've got Patreon supporters, and that's a scrolling thing if we want it, right? But the interesting thing is the options, right? So we've got master volume, so we've got audio, display, where we can change all these. We've got visuals, key bindings, right, where we can look at these. And you'll notice in the hotbar it's got F2, but we can actually change that to 2. Save that. And then we've got some interesting stuff in here where you can change the actual menus. Right, so I can change that to, let's say, a green. And you can see now what that does. And then you can do it for the information panel, for the building selections and stuff like that. So you can basically change the menu system, the colours. Number one for colourblind people, and number two just so that you can do it how you want. Have it how you want. You can save that. Okay, and then back. Okay. And if we now press continue, you'll notice these buttons are now green, right? So you can customize your play style, right? Now, I don't believe we actually saved this, and that's why it hasn't saved. I'm not too sure if it actually saves the minerals or not at the moment. Right, but it's obviously going very slow and things aren't doing what they should do. I've managed to click on something somehow. So anyway, yeah, so different things you can do. Research, that is the research tree. Right, you can scroll about in your research tree. That's just a taster. You can set it to research. It's not going to do anything for now because we haven't got anything getting made. Right. We can look at stats, which draws us nice graphs of our production, etc. We've got our probe. We've got our inventory, which is the base inventory. Okay. We can close that. We have our trading. Right. Now, trading is only available when the ship is landed, and that's why you see this here. And then you've got demolish stuff. Okay. So, what we'll do is, I don't know why that's flying. Right, I must have clicked on something. You'll see these fire up. And off they go. And they'll basically look for minerals. No, it's a Factorio Satisfactory type game. I should be able to show you better once we actually get our shaders done, right? And you'll probably be wowed by this, but this game is going to take a lot more work. There is a lot going on in it, but it's a lot further out, and it was only me that was working on it. So yeah, there's that. That will get there. I'm talking about as far as the shaders go. Right, we can click on the likes of these. Four. One that's on Steam, two that are in. One that I made because it was going to be a sort of tutorial so that I could show somebody how to do stuff, and I ended up doing a game, making nearly a game out of it. And then this one is like my, a lot of people say it's like their dream game, right? But this is just like the one that's most like a game I would play, right? Is a better way to describe it. So as I said, this hotbar is completely customizable, except I can't remember what the buttons are to customize it. Right, so it's not that button. There's something weird. Well, that's production, obviously. There's, I believe, oh, that doesn't do anything. H, maybe? Maybe not. I'll check it in a minute on the controller. Right. Oh, I've hidden this. Right. These are all little things, right? Where if you hit production, let's say, yeah, here, you can't see it because it's doing the shaders, right? But that disappears and then comes back again when you do the production thing. But I'm not making anything yet, but we'll see that in a minute. I'm not going to click every key because it will probably do something weird. What I'll do is I'll check out the pawn in a minute, or the player controller, and find out what key it is to open up the hotbar. Right, but basically you can mix these about and stuff. Like do things like that. Right, so I could basically do that. And as you can see, that didn't work. But I'm guessing it's probably because of I don't know what it's because of. But there's a lot of things that you'll recognise, right? So for example, if I press play, this is the menu, right? And you'll notice it's got the games that you can delete and stuff. Then load game, you can load a game. And then the options has got the usual stuff, key bindings. If we look here actually, we might actually, haven't got it. Inventory craft is I, resupply ship is R. Right, but you can actually, as I said, you can customize your game and your menus however you like. So you can have like these all different colors or whatever. You can have the title color as something weird purpley color. Then you could say have that as green for these titles. Then if you save that, OK that, back that, exit that and press continue, you'll notice the colours are now different. And then when you like bring up this, it's got the different colours and stuff. So you can basically customize the display any way you want, really. Right. I would need to obviously do it for this, for these as well, and these. Right. But yeah, pretty. As I said, this is the most complicated or complex game, and I'll show you why in a minute, right? Once it finishes these bloody shaders. In fact, to tell you what guys, while these shaders are doing, I'm going to go and grab a quick cigarette. May as well take time to do it now, right? Rather than just sit here and watch the shader numbers going down. I'll be back in a minute or two. Don't go anywhere. Alright guys, we're back. Right, that spaceship, right, is... Where the hell is it? Not there. It's down here somewhere. Our spaceship is there. Right? So this is because you can move the map, right? And therefore the spaceship isn't always in view, right? And you can only trade with the spaceship when the spaceship is landed, okay? Okay, so you might say, well, why do I need to trade with the spaceship? Well, the first thing is we need some minerals. So you'll see these guys fly and do their merry little drone dance round around the minerals. Then they'll scan them. Right, you'll notice that it says unidentified resource. Right, and then when we hover over it now it says bauxite. Okay? So that's a good thing. Now, if we now probe these ones, okay, so you might be thinking, okay, you've not seen anything, what's the catch here? Okay, this is where things get interesting, because we can build a miner. Right? Then we can click on our miner and it tells us ore type bauxite, cycle speed, overall efficiency, mineral available, damage condition, building name. You can rename buildings and stuff, right? So you might say, well, okay, we've got a miner, but what are we mining it for? Well, the next thing you can build is a refiner. Okay? And then what you can do is, well, you can rotate the map, that's for a kickoff. Well, you can also rotate your buildings. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, what are these little arrows for? Well, what you can do is you can go into building mode and you can make paths, and look what happens. Their bauxite starts coming out, right? And the next thing we can do is wait for Unreal Engine to get its finger out, is we can select a recipe, iron ore. Right? So that is now making iron ore. Okay, so you might say, well, what's the good of that? Well, the next thing we can do is we can make a smelter. Right? Then we can get our iron sheet, which requires iron ore. Right? And then what we can do is we can make a fabricator. And then we can select a recipe for that. And we can tell it to make widgets. And that takes the iron sheet. Then we can build a research station. Right? And it says no research selected. Okay, so then we can go into our research and we can research, let's say, probe 1. Okay, and that's set now for researching. And this one will change this from widget to a research type 1, right? And now all we need to do is get our conveyor belts, and start joining them up. Right, and notice our other stuff starts going up there, and come on then, there we go. That's our first thing coming out, right? And now what you can do is we can look at the stats. Okay. And it's going to gradually build up our graphs. Pretty cool, huh? Except you haven't seen the best of it yet, because now if we go into our research, once we actually start getting the research, it will start doing it. Right? You can build batteries, computers, PCBs, engines, ammo. These are some of the things that I was just working on. Right? And also what you can do is you can craft right, how the fuck do I craft? There, right? So what I can actually do is, if you notice along here we'll have a crafting thing. So I can actually like craft stuff and build up a like crafting list. And it will craft them for me and put them in my inventory. Now, the reason it's going so slow is because I've no bloody workers, right? and there was a button that I could press to make extra workers everywhere, because the point of it was that is that once you can do the research, and that allows you to start building other things, right? But you'll notice that this is down to 300, it's down to 298, 296. Right. So you can see this is working away. As I said, I can't remember the button for this. For adding workers, I'll need to get and I can't remember the button for saving it. So we're still doing this manual crafting as well. Right, but it appears we haven't got any stuff here. Now, yeah, that is actually working. You'll notice that's actually that's smoke. When it's working, the smoke comes out there. Right, I moved this over from C drive to D drive, and obviously some of the things haven't quite come across properly, so right, but we should. This takes a lot of stuff, and if I could remember the button to press, I would press the button. Right, let's see if we can find it. That's not it. I think it's under blueprints. In fact, we should see it in here. FEM controller. Is it in here? I mean, you're still going to see, hopefully, you'll see that my style hasn't changed. I still keep things very tidy and clean. Right, I think it's going to actually be in the pawn. Right, you'll also notice that these... Oh, maybe it's not in the pawn. Yeah, it's not in the pawn. Right, so it is in the controller, right? That's an interesting one. Right, so that can't be right. Ah, wait a minute. Right, we're gonna have to stop this for a minute, right? It's showing me the stuff from the main menu, not the actual controller. Right, so let's see. Right, pawn. Right, so it's not in there. Blueprints. It's not in there. Right, we're gonna have to go to maps again because I can't remember where these things are. Right, 1. Okay, FE pawn. Where is it? It's in blueprints. In the main one, right? It's just so that I can remember what. It's not in here. It's in the player controller. But you'll notice these are C++. FE controller, right? This is the one. Right, and as usual, testing keys are at the top. Right. So is it G? It's not G. It's P. Right, that's saving it. That's hotbar management is O. Right, where is the adding workers? Yeah, it's L. Right, add worker, right. That will speed everything up. Now, there's also a button to speed up the actual game. The time dilation thing. Yeah, here it's here, so it's enter, right? So, now we can actually do something and see it happening. Right. Main menu, play, continue. Right. So, for the sake of argument, probe here. Alright, and we want bauxite here. Oh, what button did I say that was? Right, it's enter for that. And to add workers, it's L. Right, that's going to speed us up a lot. Right, so that's bauxite. Right, we'll wait till our drones go back. They'll do their little drone dance. Now they're ready to fly again. So we'll just do this one because this is like the best one to try. Because it's basically I can then just build stuff up here. And it's all kind of into space. Right, so I can actually start doing that right now. Right, so then we'll say R and O. Then we'll do a refinery. Oh, that's the wrong one. We just did a refinery, didn't we? Right, so smelter. Right, and we'll say iron sheet. And then we'll say fabricator. And we'll say that. Then a research station. We'll do that. Then we shall select, that one's research and it's already saved. Then we can go on to our things there. Alright. And continue on with that. And there we go. So what we need to do now is go to here, place our miner down, oh. And it doesn't want to play ball apparently. And apparently there's bugs. What I'm going to do is do that. Some of this is weird. Right, let's see if we can build here. Right, that was a little glitch. Right, so now if we press L, you'll notice that our workers are going up. Right, so we've got lots of workers, so it's going to go a lot faster. We're at 83% efficiency, right? So everything's going to go faster. Then we can actually hit that button to speed up time. Slow it down. And you'll notice now we get a lot more of these. It's still slow like, right, because it does take time for them to make them, right? And it takes a certain amount. Hi Richard. The best idea, Rechin, is for you to join our Discord. Probably the best one is the Groenland one. If this is the first time you've been here, this is actually a project that I'm on hold at the moment on this one. So you'll notice now this is a science thing, right? So now that the science thing goes in, right, you'll notice that we haven't got a science thing selected. Right, now that's weird because that says researching, but it's not, and it's not going to allow us to. So that is a bit of a bummer. Right? We're going to have to restart this and make a new game. Right, because I'm an idiot. But hey, it happens. Right, so we need our bauxite, right? This is copper, I'm pretty sure. This is bauxite. Right, so we're going to do a refiner. Right, then we're going to do our smelter. Then we're going to do our fabricator. Then we're going to do a research station. Yeah, is a research station. Right. Then in here, we're going to say that, set that, set that. You can actually make widgets and stuff, it's just doing a specific thing to show you guys the research working, right? No research selected, so we select the research, click on that, close that, and we'll try to do this a bit quicker this time. Right, so now we can put our miner down. Hopefully this will work. I don't believe it. How come that's no... How come that's not working? That's bizarre. I wonder if we do that. Ah, now you work. Right, now off we go. So now what we want to do is basically press L a lot of times. Right, and that gives us lots of workers. Then we can speed it up. Right. So what do you think of this quit abandoned? I don't believe it. Is this copper? This is copper, isn't it? Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay. Right, so we're gonna have to probe there. We're gonna have to remove that as well. Oh, I'm still on remove. Okay, well, we can put it there. That's copper as well. We need a bauxite. We need a bauxite. Now I'm going to show you something else that's pretty cool. That's copper ore as well. Right, we're not having much luck trying to find bauxite here. So that's copper, that's copper. Right, is this sodden copper? Yep, it is. What about this one? Right, is this copper? Or is it not copper? Right, bauxite, there we go. Right. So that's going to be making iron ore. Right. And then that's going to make that. Yep, that's making completely the wrong thing. So that's making bauxite. Right, that's bollocks. That's the fabricator, right? So we need a smelter. Yeah, we can leave that like that actually. No, I'd better do it that way. Then the refiner. Right, so the refiner is going to be making that. Then the smelter is going to be making that. Not too great when you forget to play your own game. Forget how to play your own game anyway. Right. Okay. And finally, right. So if we click on our research, we're researching this, right? We're gonna have to hit our L's a few times again, then speed it up. There is a little bug here with this one. For some reason it keeps doing things like adding that little extra bit of spline even though it isn't actually connected, you know. Right, so you can see now that it's producing loads of stuff, right? And the reason these are actually sheets, but for some reason they're getting reflected on by like the ground and the lighting, which is turning them kinda that colour, which is a bit weird, but yeah. So there we have our first research. And this will now be working. You'll notice now we've done that much. So this is like fills up the way. Right, so there's our next one. Right. I'm not sure if that does it in real time. Obviously not, right? Because now we've got up the tier. So we've obviously got our box out, right? And what was the button? Was it O? Yeah. So these are the things as you can drag these onto the hotbar. Right? And these are the things that you can actually drag onto the hotbar. So you've got refiner 2, refiner, and then onto this hotbar you've got splitter, conveyor, combiner, right? And depending on this, the conveyor belt is the speed that the conveyor belt goes, the splitter obviously how fast that goes and stuff, but yeah. And as you can see, our research is going up. Right? So we can check out, you can see our research is up to there. Right. Not too sure how many more we need, but probably one more actually. I'm going to speed that up again for the moment. Right, there's our, probably the last one we need here. And then once it does it, it's going to like pop an award. Or at least I hope it does. Is it finished? Ah, it's got one more to do. Right. And there we go. Then we can select another research. Oh yeah, and now we can look at some graphs. Right. And we can take stuff off or add stuff on or whatever we want to do. Right, I believe yeah, we're basically out. Mineral available, out. So we're actually out of minerals there. So we need to go and probe again. Okay. We've got bauxite. Right. So now we can do a conveyor belt. And this has decided not to work again. And that's got a lot. This type of game, I can watch this forever, man. See, just watching these things get produced and then move on and then get produced into something else and all that. It's just bloody awesome. You know what I'm saying? It's just bleeding awesome. Now, the other interesting cool thing you can do here, right, is I should have done it earlier, but not to worry. Is we can create a storage container. right? So basically, when we do that, right, we can check out our storage. Now we should have really did this live. Right, you'll see it's got bauxite too. Right, so it's basically storing bauxite for us. If we were to plug it out the way, right, then we can just basically connect it up to something if we want. Right, so the next interesting thing we can do is if, let's say, we were to do one of these. Right, now this is a splitter. Right. So if, let's say, we had a couple of refiners, let's say, right, and there's our research complete. Right, so we could do this next. Right, so say we were doing a couple of refiners, right, then what we could do is drag this to here. Okay, apparently not. Why is that not working? You've got to remember, guys, this was in development, right? So it's not finished. Don't know why it's doing that. Do we need to plug something into it first? I don't think so. Suppose we can try it. It's possibly something I was working on. Oh, that's not got a delete on it. Oh, lots of errors. Yeah. But yeah, that's a look at Fabrica Espace. Okay, now the next one we're going to have a look at is Chronicles of a Vampire Slayer. Okay, so this was a project that a person wanted one-on-one tuition. So he asked me about a specific game and he said he wanted to make something like that. So I thought the best way I can teach him is to write it myself first, and then any questions he would end up having, I already had wrote the game, or at least the basis for the game, so I could try it basically. I could show him how to do it, whatever it was. So I'll show you that in a second, but first of all, I'm going to go and grab a cigarette. So while this loads up, I'm going to grab a cigarette and I shall be back in 5. Don't go anywhere. Now, Chronicles was just something, somebody wanted personal tuition, and it ended up, I needed a little break from Fabrica Espace because it's quite heavy, and I ended up making this in quite a short time. I had the basics, the game basics done in about 3 days or something, and I was having fun with it, so I just continued for a while, right? But I'll be back in a minute. Alright, we're back and still doing shaders. What did you think of Fabrica Espace? Quit. Alright, quit. Have a good night. Right, is this going to hurry up? This is the problem trying to show multiple projects. It does all the shaders again. Whew. Are you still in the chat, Retchin? I wish you could see who was in the chat at this point, because then you could at least kind of talk to people a bit. But if they don't speak, then names don't come up, which I understand as well. But when there's so few people in your chat or watching your stream, but anyway, just making small talk while this thing bloody loads. And I'm guessing as well it's going to do even more shaders when I actually go into the game, so this probably wasn't the greatest idea ever. Right, but at least we can have a look at it, I suppose. So, how is everybody out there tonight? Hope yous are all good. Let me know where you're from. If it's the States or where Brazil. Get a lot of people from Brazil actually. India. All sorts of places. It's quite amazing really, when you think about it. Down to 33. My concurrent viewers, it's just stopped. It was at 6 and then on Streamlabs it dropped to 1, but it was still showing 6. So basically there's one person in the chat and I've got no idea who it is. And we're up again, and we're down again, And we're doing our shaders. Still. Come on. You know you can do it. So I'll ask again for our new watchers, how is everybody tonight? And where are you from? It's interesting to know where people are watching from. I know it's mainly the States, but funnily enough, most of the people for the States, they don't speak or put anything in the chat. It's normally other people for some reason. Or if any of you guys want to see a particular tutorial on something, again, let me know. We'll see what we can do. And I haven't actually switched it over to this, which obviously didn't help a lot. It's went up to 2400 again. That's a bit of a disaster. Not good. I've got a mind to delete this video actually, because most of it is sitting here watching, waiting for shaders to bloody well load. Well, I suppose the first hour's okay. We're not too bad. But yeah, this 2400 shader is a bit demoralising, to be honest. Again, if there's anybody out there who is going to type something in, let me know. Let me know where you're from and how your evening is tonight, and if you're doing stuff in Unreal Engine. Let's pass the time by having a chat. It's kind of strange how people just bounce. I understand it because I do the same thing myself, but people bouncing in and out of streams. You know, if you don't get somebody's attention within the first 10 seconds, then basically they just bounce out again, which is understandable. And we're not exactly thrashing through the shaders here. We're still on 2360. Ah, darn it. Shouldn't have done this. One learns one lesson. Right guys, I'm not going to put you through this. There's no point, because at the end of the day, this is going to take probably about a blooming hour. And I'm not sitting here for an hour wasting you guys' time. Okay, so have a great night. Hit like and subscribe and the bell for times that I'll actually be streaming and actually being able to show you something, hopefully. And as I said, I won't take up too much of your time. So I shall be back tomorrow 2 PM. I'm going to try and make sure I've got something in Grunland to work on. I'm going to open it up tonight, find out what I need to work on. I don't think I've got anything big. I do want something big to get my teeth into, but I actually don't think there's anything really now in Grunland, because we've got storage done, we've started with the crafting and the cooking. Those are working. We've got the combat, but we're waiting on some blend spaces for that. We've got our eating food and drinking. We need to work on mechanics of how many points you lose per minute or whatever, right, of hunger, thirst, blah blah blah. Then I'm going to have to actually work on probably, we're going to have to do something with like a, what do you call them again, like a water skin, and being able to fill it up and having a certain amount of drinks in it, right? So we might have a look at something like that. That's tomorrow. So as I said, I'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Central, and we'll have a look at, well, we'll be back to Greenland, but I'm going to definitely take a look at that now. After, I don't even think I'm going to let this run. So, I'm sorry to take up your time watching shaders compile, but that's the way it sometimes goes. And have a great night, folks. As I said, hit the like and subscribe and the bell to get notified that I'm online. But you can check it out. I'm usually online 2 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Central. So check out the descriptions for links to the games Discord, my personal Discord. You're welcome to join either or both. My Patreon, previous game on Steam, which if you wanted to do me a favour you could add it to your wish list, and the Kickstarter preview and our website. So thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye bye for now.